Team paint is about teams, and you uncover a lot of creativity when people stand side by side and put paint on a canvas. And oftentimes when people paint together, the art they create is truly awesome. And that's the power of being a great team.
It was fun. We started with no plan whatsoever, and nobody knew where our destination was going to be.
I'm a creative entrepreneur, and I blend the two things I love most, fine art and team building, together. My background is in nonprofit executive leadership, where I learned the power of really strong and dynamic teams, and I learned that every individual on the team makes a big difference. But I also know that creativity and innovation is amazing because it's the piece that fuels and ignites a business or an organization. So I bring those two things together in Team Paint. And there's really three things that I found are critical. It's that innovation and creativity, it's building teams and recognizing everyone on the team, and it's also celebrating and building the individual. So let me ask you a question. Do you consider yourself a creative? A lot of people would say no, but if you think back to when you were a kid in first grade and you had a blank piece of paper and a pot of paint, you raised your hand. In fact, every kid in the classroom raised their hand. But by the time we're adults, only 3% of people consider themselves creative. So what's happened? Well, we've lost that creative genius, and instead we want people to be normal. We tell people to color in the lines, to stay in line, to prepare for college, to get a job, and before you know it, we're adults and we've lost something valuable. But the good news about creativity, it can be relearned, it can be reignited, and that's what we do in Team Paint. So what happens after Team Paint, the growth and the stories, are really just as important as what happens when you're painting. In fact, one of my favorite stories is about a corporate 500 company, and they had a new CEO who came into town, and he knew the value of having a strong team. And he decided to start a series of weekly video casts from his CEO desk. The first thing he asked for that piece of artwork from Team Paint to hang behind him on the desk. And he told the story of the connections, the camaraderie, the risk-taking, the things they learned that they could do together and accomplish while they were team painting. And that's the very thing he embraced in this company, just like we do in Team Paint. So when was the last time you did something for the first time? How about today? How about Team Paint? You know, there is great magic and power when teams are relaxed and playing, engaged, doing something new, taking risks, learning things about each other. And that's the power of a strong team. So let me ask you this. How are you going to show up? Are you going to show up engaged? Are you going to show up connected? Are you going to show up a part of the team that makes a difference? I think you will. I think you're going to Team Paint.